Okay. There's gonna have to come a point in time where black people understand that our employment issues, right, are not gonna be solved till we understand that we need to have our own. Now, every business, okay, isn't going to be a multi-million dollar giant. You start off small and you grow into something big. Okay, so we're not going to start off with some mega million, dollar business. It's going to be small or medium to the point where the money you're going to be making will be comparable to you working for someone else. Okay, there's a lot of small business owners who aren't necessarily balling or who are not necessarily rich. They're making the same amount of money right after they, pay bills and employees as if they were working for another person, okay, or another company. But why are they doing what they're doing? Well, you have control, so you can hire who you want. You can run your business how you want to run it. So you have some sort of power. This is what we don't understand. We get so turned off to the whole idea of owning your own business because we're thinking that we have to somehow form some super mega billion dollar business that's going to compete with Walmart and all these other people. No, not at all. Right? That's not going to be our case. Right? All these mega million dollar companies or companies that are doing pretty well, they started off small. They started off in a time where, granted, black people weren't allowed to do what they were supposed to do. If you watch all these stories and documentaries on the history of Walmart or this fast food chain or, this company or that company, you'll see that when they were started, right, black people were just looking for equal rights. We were just trying to drink from the same water fountain as different people. We were just trying to sit on the bus where they were steadily forming companies that they grew. Some sold, some kept it in the family. Right? So what we have to understand is that we too have to start from the bottom. We may not like it, but that's just the truth of reality. And this is the only way we're going to solve our employment issues. What we're not factoring in is even if you're qualified, right, we have employment issues. Everybody thinks when we talk about black employment, it's just about people who aren't qualified. Quite frankly, I don't care about people who complain about not finding jobs as black people, but when you look at their resume or you look at their qualifications, they don't have any. The whole problem with black employment is that you have people who are qualified, whether they're college educated or not. They have the qualifications for the position, but they're not being considered. I mean, we've all seen the studies and, the reports on how your name has something to do with you getting a call back or you, possibly being considered for the job. Right? I think it was Michigan and their school, I forgot what school in their university, I think did some sort of study, if my memory serves me correct. So how do you combat that? What can you do? You can complain all you want, but it's not going to mean anything. No one is going to have their company be the vessel for black people to pick themselves up. I hate when I, hear some of these corporate black professionals who act as if they can possibly do something to increase the number of minorities in certain businesses, right? So their ideal is one day, we can see some major million-dollar corporation and on the board it's going to be, 60% black, and it's just going to be this visible overrepresentation of black people, and that's what we need to see, and that's what we're going to work for, as if they have that power. As if their job is secure. Even the CEO is still an employee. Right? The funny thing about CEOs is that CEOs, they get to being the CEO because they know how to maintain the formal and informal climate of a company. That's what they do. So black or whatever, your job is to maintain pretty much the status quo of what's going on. They don't want to see a change. The shareholders and, the people who really have the power don't want to see anything drastically change, and you're just trying to hold on to your job. But we have this fantasy that we can, work for other people, but increase our numbers through working for other people. It doesn't make any sense. it's like you having a business, just as a black person, having a business, and you want it to be ran a certain way, and you want to walk in and you want to see a certain type of environment and a certain type of look, right? Not to say that you don't want other people working for you, but you want to walk in feeling comfortable about, yeah, everybody here is black. I like that. The majority here is black. We have other people, but I like the fact that, the majority of my staff is black and we're doing things a certain way. And you have, let's say you hire somebody Italian and they are, part of your human resources or whatever, and they're hiring people and they're like, you know what? We need to get more Italians into professional America. And they start to hire more Italians, or they're trying to. You as the owner, what are you going to say? No, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to let you change up the atmosphere or the nature or the personality of what I'm trying to do. Right? I want to see that the majority of my staff is black. End of the story. Right? That's the kind of power we need. It's not about hiring just any black person, but it's about hiring black people who are qualified and they're getting the job just because they're black. Now, granted, other people don't have that sort of power where it's just automatic, but it's there. And we don't have that. And this is the only way we're going to address the needs. No one else is going to sit back idly and let us use their company as a vessel for us to improve ourselves. But it's so funny how we think that, yeah, if we increase our numbers, then we can start to run things how we want to run it. If we get more black people on NBC, all of a sudden we're going to turn NBC into a channel that caters to black people and, shows black people in this positive light. No. The people at the top of NBC are not going to let that happen. It's not. They're not going to let it. Right? You are still an employee. You don't have pull like that. You're always trying to watch out for your job, so you're not trying to rock the boat. Matter of fact, your ability to rise up and, make $1 million companies and all that other stuff is based off of the whole idea of you keeping the status quo. Right? They want the exceptional Negro. They don't want the Negro that's going to change things up. They just want the Negro who's there, who's going to be black, but they're still going to maintain what the company wants. And that's just how it is. Just think about it in terms of if you had your own business. Think about it. If you had your own business and you're a minority, I don't care, right? Of course you want to see your minority working for you. And you're not going to let someone else come in and change that environment, even if they are, another underserved or underrepresented minority group. You're not. A Mexican business owner in Southern California isn't going to hire a whole bunch of black people and really have his company, change in personality. No. Because at the end of the day, we have an overabundance of qualified workers. So there's enough people out there so that he can say, no, I can keep the majority of my workforce Mexican and, qualified and educated. That's not an issue. It's not that desperate. And when you have a nation where there aren't enough jobs for its educated class, what's going to happen? People are going to hold on to the whole idea that we have to protect ourselves. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I want to help out other minorities and, help out, the black guy or the black woman or, this group or that group. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make sure that the demographics of my company, right, that needs to stay the same. I'm not going to have anybody who's going to come in and try to rock the boat. So we find ourselves at a point where all you can do is work for yourself. That is the only way we can hire black people who are qualified and who are black without having to answer to anybody or not having some fear of losing our jobs. It's the only way. And it has to be small. It really does have to be small. It's not going to be big. It's not going to be booming. But it starts with people understanding this very concept. That's it. And not having this fear or this phobia that, you're not going to do well, you're going to fail, this, that, and the third. That's all you can do, really, at this point in time. That's all you can do. So anyways, you guys take it easy. Tell me how you feel. Happy holidays. God bless.